Welcome to this Broadcom course on the Automic Automation Zero Downtime Upgrade, or ZDU, procedure. Zero Downtime Upgrade makes it possible to perform a rolling upgrade to version 26 without requiring downtime, ensuring business continuity. Operations are automated normally while the upgrade is performed. Zero Downtime Upgrade requires two major phases. This video is phase 1, the preparation. We prepare a new set of file systems for version 26, using the existing version 24 environment. During phase 2, we rely on a wizard in the web UI to execute the upgrade. In order to execute the zero downtime upgrade successfully, we have to perform a number of important steps. We have a functioning version 24. We use it to generate new atomic components for the future 26. These are the steps. We duplicate the component directories, utilities, automation engine, web interface, and service managers. Directory names have the _2 suffix appended to them. For AE and utilities, we empty each temp directory and delete the old tar files. We copy the version 26 installation tar files to these new directories, gunzip and untar. We also copy the contents of the web interface file system from the install package to the new directory. For AE and utilities, we prepare the INI configuration files using the ORI files we just created. For the web interface, we configure new configuration files. We build a second service manager for AE and the web interface. We copy the new DB directory so as to create the version 26 data structures. We purge the environment to remove old history and records and clean out the process monitoring perspective. First, we duplicate the 3 server component directories on all systems. Those source directories contain your active instance and must be left untouched. We duplicate them to create the file systems that will support the future version 26. From this point forward, all work will be performed in these directories. We assume an installation directory called /opt/atomic, which we refer to as dir in square brackets. Your new directories can simply be appended with _2. We provide the commands for each component. The result should be this. At /opt/atomic, you should have 2 directories, the operational v24 components directory and the future v26 directory. For AE and the web interface, we also duplicate the service managers, since version 26 of these components will need to be started during the upgrade. This concerns utilities, the automation engine, and the service manager. When version 24 was installed, we left behind the installation packages with the tar extensions. We remove them for both components. We also empty the contents of each temp directory since we have no need for version 24 logs. For utilities and the automation engine, we copy the version 26.tar.gz install file from the install package into the newly created destination directory. Don't worry about the service manager since it isn't being upgraded. You uncompress and untar each file. New bin and temp directories are generated. What happens next is of critical importance for the way upgrade file systems are being created. Contents are handled based on 3 possible case scenarios. First, where a file already exists with the same name, the current file is overwritten with the new file. This is the case for the binaries, which is good. We want 24 binaries to be overwritten with 26 binaries. Second, where a file exists in the install package but not in the directory, then the file is simply created. This is the case of ucsrv.ori.ini. When version 24 was installed, this ORI file was renamed ucsrv.ini prior to configuration, and so a new version 26 ORI is created. Finally, if a file exists in the new directory, but there is no matching file from the install package, it's simply preserved. This is the case of the old ucsrv.ini. Again, this is good. It means we're preserving all existing INIs for future comparison. Finally, installing the new web interface is straightforward. You copy the contents of the install package into the new web interface directory. The web interface is not affected by this. We set the new configuration files for the future version. We rename the existing INI files _old since they contain version 24 configurations, making them obsolete. We also rename each ORI file into the standard INI. These will be the version 26 files. We copy the settings from the old INI files into the new ones. For the utilities INIs, copy the SQL Driver Connect ODBC var string from the current INI to the new one. For UCSRV.ini, copy this string as well. Other fields should also be replicated. You should copy the SQL Driver Connect string for JDBC, as well as the TLS information, such as key store password, key password, and alias. Finally, you should set a new JCP port. Your current JCP may have a range set. The defaulted installation is between 8443 and 8445, although you may have changed this. Make sure the new UCSRV.ini sets the JCP port outside of this range on an unused port, say 8446. This will allow our version 26 web interface to connect to the version 26 JCP to complete the upgrade. We've worked on the other components. We can focus on the web interface. The procedure is a little different because it doesn't have a tar file. Your new web interface directory should already have an AWI configuration file with the correct settings, but we recommend using the sample instead, which we know is version 26. Trusted folder, connection name, and IP for JCP. If you recall, we set the new JCP on a different port to make both version 24 and 26 JCPs accessible by the web interface. In the configuration file, we set the JCP port to that port, say 8446. This means version 26 AWI will be able to communicate with version 26 AE. Copy the configuration.properties sample file into a regular file by removing the sample extension. Then set the HTTP port to 8081 or some other open port. Doing so means we will be able to access version 24 AWI on standard port 8080 and version 26 AWI on port 8081. The two AWIs can coexist. We will show this during the wizard. We duplicated the service manager for AE and the web interface so as to be in a position to start the new version of these components during the upgrade. In the directory of these new service managers, two changes need to be made. In the INI configuration file, you need to change the port. The default is 8871 for version 24. We set a different one for version 26. Since the two service managers will run concurrently, they cannot connect via the same port. Next, the SMD files should be modified. For AE, change the value of start path to the new automation engine directory. When started, the service manager will start the server processes using the executables in this directory. For the web interface, set the path of the web UI launcher to the version 26 web interface directory. You'll then be in a position to run both versions of AWI. Copy the version 26 db.tar.gz file into the new utility directory, then gunzip and untar. This is needed for the version 26 db load. Your maintenance procedures should be configured and executing on a regular basis. If your maintenance is set on a long schedule, make sure you can execute these before the upgrade so as to remove the history records, object versions, and so on. You should also clean out all old records in the process monitoring perspective. This is extremely important if you want your upgrade to execute quickly and successfully. There are other critical considerations. First, the firewall. You'll need a variety of new ports for AWI, the service managers, the JCP, and so forth. Make sure these new ports are enabled in your firewall. Second, refrain from using user UC to execute the Zero Downtime Upgrade. This is an important best practice when working with Automic. This way, if anything goes wrong and you need to access client 0, you can always rely on UC to get in.